Okay, we are joined by Indiana head coach Terry Morin, senior guard Allie Patberg, and junior forward Mackenzie Holmes. We'll have the same format with a short opening statement from Coach. Then we'll take questions for the student athletes for about 10 minutes. Coach will stay with us and take 10 minutes of questions after that. For the folks on Zoom, do the same thing. I know we didn't get to you last time, but if you do have a question, put your hand up virtually, and we'll get started with Coach. Please start us off with some opening remarks.
Well, first of all, congratulations to a very good UConn team. We felt like we got off to a fast start and a really good start. Had a little bit of momentum going into halftime after Lex hits that big three and pulls within 4. And then we probably needed to stay out there because we went back into the locker room and made some adjustments. But we came back out in the third quarter, and it was just really a bugaboo for us. They got off to a 16-0 run, made a 16-0 run, and you just can't allow that to happen against a team like UConn. It's very, very difficult to overcome a start like that. We did some uncharacteristic things of our team. We knew it. We were disappointed with that. And then we just didn't do a good enough job on the boards today. They got second, third shot opportunities, 14 second chance points, and so forth. So needed to do a better job of protecting the paint. We were unable to do that today, and give the credit to UConn. But nonetheless, I'm really proud of our group. We've had a tremendous season. Have had some adversity that we've had to overcome, and as I said to these guys, they just continue to show up every day and do the work for us. So although we're disappointed, we did not want this thing to end anytime soon because we really enjoy being around each other and working with each other. I'm super proud of my staff and our team in terms of what we were able to overcome and the success that we had this season.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes now. Just wait for the wireless mic and state your name and affiliation. We'll get started here on the left.
Matt Cohen, Indy Star. I guess, Allie, I can see the emotion on your face a bit. 7 years later, I guess this is it, finally. I guess you can just describe it in the moments afterward, what's in your head right now and how, I guess, you're starting to get, to the end of college.
I'm disappointed we lost. Not a good loser. So this is not how I envisioned going out. But I'm just thankful that Coach Morin, believed in me 5 years ago and gave me an opportunity to wear, Hoosier on my chest, and I just hope that the time I had at IU, people just remember, how hard I played and I was a good teammate and I worked as hard as I could, and, I'm thankful. It hurts right now, but
right here on the left.
Thankful.
Seth Tao, Herald Times. Mackenzie, obviously you can see the emotion with Allie. What has she and these seniors meant to you, and how much have they done for the program?
I don't think I could even put that into words, and I told Allie, I'm not ready to have her not be my teammate anymore. This team is filled with 11 selfless girls who would just put each other before themselves, and Allie's going to be my sister for life, as the other seniors will be, so I don't think I'm going to let myself process this for a while. But
Pat, right here in front.
Mackenzie, it seemed after that play at the end of the first half that you guys went into halftime with some momentum, only down a few. So what happened there at the beginning of the third quarter, and what was it that they did that didn't enable you guys to make? You cut it to 11 at one point, but no further than that. So what did they do to keep you from making that comeback?
I think Coach just said in her opening statement, we had some momentum, and then they came out in that third quarter and went on a 16-0 run, and I think that that's kind of where we lost our momentum a little bit. But, we lost on the boards too, which we're not going to win any games when we do that. So that was hard, and I just think that, it was a collection of those things.
Right here in front.
Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, Indiana. Allie, in the first half, you guys looked like you got a lot of good looks offensively. You scored pretty well. I think at one point you had 18 points. 4 of you had 4 points each, and somebody else had 2. How much of that came from like good scouting, good preparation in regards to where you might be able to find open looks on the floor?
Yeah, it's everything. I've always said it. We come into every game prepared with a great game plan from our coaches, and I think we were. I don't know how many points we had at half, but I think we even missed some good looks that should have went down for us. But it came down to that third quarter, and
Right here in the middle.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, CNHI. Mackenzie, how much of the problems on the boards was Connecticut's size and athleticism, or were there other factors in your mind?
I mean, they out-rebounded us by 12, so clearly it was an issue. They're lengthy, they're athletic, so boxing them out just wasn't enough. We had to go get it too, and I personally, I'll take the blame for that, failed to do that multiple times throughout the game, and yeah.
Right here in front, we have about 5 minutes left with the student athletes.
This is for, I guess, either of you guys. I guess first, is it kind of how do you start the process? And I'm sure you're probably not there yet, but kind of thinking about this being the last time with that starting 5 together, what that group meant. And I guess Mac was just kind of an assumption of what your future plans are, but I wanted to ask you directly kind of what you're in this era of transfer portal and the WNBA draft eligibility, kind of what your future is.
I'm going to be wearing Indiana on my chest until they don't let me wear Indiana on my chest anymore. I don't know where the speculations for that ever came up, but I'm going to keep that jersey on for as long as I possibly can.
Right here.
For either of you, they built up a 20-point lead, obviously in the third quarter. As they started to make that run, and you guys get into that hole. What are you telling each other out on the court and in the huddles, I guess?
Mackenzie, can you take that, please?
Yeah, just one possession at a time, one stop at a time, and then there were times that I thought we got good looks after getting stops, but we just didn't convert, and just staying together as we have this entire season. We're not new to adversity. It's something we've been facing this whole season. So just all we know is to stay together, and that was going to be the mantra for the whole game, no matter what the outcome was going to be.
Right here in the middle, we have about 2 or 3 minutes left.
Coach, this is obviously Allie's last game in an Indiana uniform. Just what can you say about her
Sorry,
career?
this is just for the student athletes. You have any questions for the student athletes? I know, come on, NCAA rules, man. All right. You want to wait? All right, right here on the right.
Azar from MV Magazine. And Allie, I know you guys spoke earlier before. You guys, if anybody doesn't know, like Indiana, they might have not seemed like they got the respect because they're a Big Ten team in a big conference. But you guys won 24 games, and it took Iowa to beat you, and it took a top team like UConn to beat you. If you just want to say about everything about this team, or you want to share anything else, because being that you're a senior, I always feel like you have the right, being that you have the platform right now to speak. Anything you want to say about the team?
Yeah, we were a great team because we worked hard. We played for one another. Our coaches always had a great game plan. I felt like most games we were the smarter team, tried to be. And I think the biggest thing is we never gave up. We've always continued to fight. And I thought we still fought tonight, even though it didn't go our way in the third. But, yeah.
Katie, why don't you take the last one on the right?
Katie Barnes from ESPN. This is for Allie. Given that you're from Indiana, and I'm from Indiana too, so shout out to the home state. For much of my life, Notre Dame has been the powerhouse in women's college basketball in the state. And so what does it mean to you to be from the state and to wear IU on your chest and to sort of be a part of this program's ascension into a power in what is historically, a really important basketball state?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. Yeah, can't even put it into words. Like I said, I'm just thankful that I got the opportunity to play for Coach Morin, and I love everything that our team represents, our school. So, and I know they're going to continue to get better and grow and have success, and I can't wait to see that. And just know that, I was a small part of it.
All right, thank you very much. You can head back to the locker room. We appreciate it. We'll take questions for Coach Morin now. I think we can give the first one to the guy we shut down earlier.
I'll go ahead and answer it. She's been so much to this program. You can tell by her emotion that, she is, I think obviously very sad that it's over, even though she was blessed enough to have 7 years, of college. And that's not lost on AP. She realizes that, it was a true blessing to be able to stay at Indiana and play another year. But she's our leader, and she's our leader on the floor. She's our leader off the floor, and so she's going to be missed. But don't be surprised if at some point she ends up, maybe back in Indiana somewhere, working with women's basketball, because she does have aspirations of wanting to coach this game, and so. You just, you never know where she might end up, but I'd love to have her as a part of what we're doing inside of our program at some point in the future.
Lori, right here on the right.
Coach Lori Riley from the Hartford Current. Could you just talk a little bit about UConn's defense, and in particular what I know they, I think Grace only had 2 points in the first half. What they did to you, and what impact it had.
Again, we knew that it was going to be a battle of two really, good teams that both, emphasized, the defensive side of the ball. And, I think the one thing that stood out to me was the physicality. I thought they were really physical. And we are, on the flip side of that, usually the team that everyone talks about our physicality, and so I thought today, they were quick, quick to all of our actions. I thought they bottled Grace up. They did a nice job of doing that. But really, where they hurt us was on the glass. Their size, their ability to just get to the ball faster than we did. Really, I thought was what really got us. But we faced some really good defensive teams, but they were awesome. They were terrific today, UConn. But I think the physicality piece of what they did today was a little bit different than I expected. I knew they were disciplined, but they were physical, and I think that's a good thing as they move forward.
Right here on the left, Coach.
That being, I guess, it for that starting five that's been around for so long, been your starters for, I guess, almost 2 years now. How have you seen in their time with IU, kind of just the campus kind of surrounding IU, and seeing interest in this team grow with how much success that they've had?
Well, it's been great to watch. It's been great to be a part of. And, again, it's because of these kids, these players. Ultimately, I have a terrific staff. They work hard. We prepare them, but it takes those players to show up every day, whether it's outside of practice time, and work on their own game, and then show up to practice and be about each other. And so, that's been consistent. That's the one thing that this group, I can say, they've done for the last 2 years is that we know what we can count on. And when you know what you can count on, you can do great things, and they've just been a model of consistency for us in terms of, like I said, showing up, but also being about one another and just wanting each other to have success. Our chemistry has been off the charts the last 2 seasons, and a lot of it has to do with not just because they're good basketball players, but because they're good kids, and they like each other, and they care about each other.
Right here in the middle, and then we'll go kind of down the line.
Kevin Vera, the Hoosier Network. You just said they're good kids, and that kind of leads me into my question. Can you talk about Nicole, Allie, and Alexa, not necessarily as players, but as people, and what they mean to you as a head coach?
Well, Lex, obviously Allie, means the world to me. They all mean the world to me, but all of us, we have different relationships, right? I have it with all, different ones with all of them. Lex came to us 4 years ago from Latvia, and I think her game, this has been by far her breakout season. She's been terrific for us. It's going to be hard to let her go. She does have an extra year, but she wants to go back to Europe and play and start her professional career, so we got to let her do that. But what I love about her is that she's just continued to be inside of our program. We've watched her grow on and off the floor, and she's been such a great teammate. Nikki, when we got her 2 years ago, we knew that she was a scorer, right, a bucket getter. But what we didn't anticipate was her showing up and being such a great defensive ball stopper for us. And, she's really set the table for us on that side of the ball. She's a character. She's the one that inside that locker room always puts people at ease because she has a personality to her. So we're going to miss that, And anytime that every year you have a different team, and all of them have different personalities and different ways that they do things. And this was a great group because they had such great balance, from Grace Berger, who doesn't say much, to Nikki, who says too much sometimes. And Allie's kind of in between and so forth. So this has just been a dynamite group, to be able to coach the last 2 years.
Right here in the middle.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, CNHI. Coach, you do have Grace and Mackenzie coming back. How do you guys kind of take the next step off this and build off, 2 straight weekends where you're in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament?
Well, the work continues, but it is nice that, we have 2 players in Grace Berger and Mac, that obviously are going to be now the example that Allie, has been that for us. And now the 2 of them will take over in the leadership role for us. Obviously, we got great minutes from Chloe Moore McNeil this season. She's just going to continue to get better. We feel really good about the incoming class we have. And so our work will continue to keep building this thing because, we've checked off a lot of things in terms of goals that we've had for our program, but there are still many other goals that we want to be able to check off, in our time here at Indiana. And you have to have great players to do that and great staff. And I know I have a great staff, and I know I have a great core group that's going to be returning to us. Now it's just trying to fit all those pieces together because it will be different, a year from now, or I should say a couple months from now when we get back together.
Got about 4 minutes left with Coach right here. Go ahead.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about a hidden moment earlier in the game I wrote down. You were up 18-13, and then you missed the loose ball. They got a 3 to make it 18-16. They hit another 3-point play to make it 19-18. You stayed in the game for a while, obviously, and it really got away in the second half. But how big of a turning point was that when you had them a little bit on their heels early?
Well, we expected to come in and, the goal was to get them on their heels early. This is a veteran group. They're an experienced group. We've been in big moments before, played a lot of really, really great teams. And so, I knew that this group was going to come in. My guys were going to come in and not blink, right? We were here to win the game. And so I love the start. I really did. I love the start we got off to. It's just I didn't like the third quarter. If I could have that one back, that's what I'd want back, the third quarter.
Right here in front.
Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, Indiana. And, I know Allie, with all her emotion, that looked like you were pretty emotional just kind of watching her talk for one. And just secondly, on top of that, too, how much does it mean to you for her to go out with the game she had today? She played really, really well. Even in defeat.
She did, and I think, as I said last week after we beat Princeton at home to get to our, back-to-back Sweet 16s, Tyra Buss, Amanda Cahill were able to do it, in 18 when we won the NIT championship win on their home floor. And then, you fast forward and you get a kid like Allie and Nikki and Lex and Wags that can say they won their last game on their home floor to do something as the magnitude, that the Sweet 16 presents for us. And so, or to the magnitude. And so it's great. I was so happy, especially for AP, because she's an Indiana kid. Through and through, native, the leader for our team, and you just want that. You want all your kids to not only have success, but for her it hits a little bit different because of just what she's meant, and again, just being that native that chose to come back and represent me in our team.
Right here on the left.
Terry, obviously, you said it yourself. It's going to look different next year, and even though you have Mac and Grace coming back, I guess with so many key players leaving now, what do you think the legacy of this era of Indiana women's basketball is?
Well, I hope again it's just I think the legacy we've been able to do accomplish something that we set out 8 years ago when we got here. We've had a lot of moments where we can check them off, like historical moments, right, inside of our program. And to be able to get to, back-to-back Sweet 16, this is something that these guys are going to have forever, right? And you can talk about the games and perhaps coming up short, but the thing that this group is going to have is they're going to have a lot of stories to tell, right, each other, and the experience, the memories they're going to have are going to last forever. And so although today hurts and we're disappointed, like I said, the work still continues. We got to Elite Eight last year. We're disappointed we didn't get there this year, but now we'll turn around and our goals will be high once again for our program, and the standards will stay what they are. But they were cemented by the kids like the Allie Patbergs and the Lex and the Nikki that, really believed in the vision, but also really have believed in just the work that it takes.
Got time for one or two more over here on the right.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Hey, Azar from MV Magazine. I wanted to say you talked about where you reached to last year, and this year you didn't get as far.
Right.
But even though your team is at that next level, it took like 2 Power 5 teams to get you out. Like in your tournament, it took Iowa, and in this tournament,
Right.
it took UConn. Do you feel that your team gets the respect that it deserves?
That's a great question. Here's what I'll say, because it's an opportunity to talk about the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten lacks the respect nationally that the league deserves. And I don't want to talk about individuals because you guys, we talk about the Kate Clarks and the Nas, because there's so many great players. I could go down every team in the Big, and we could talk about some of the kids that they have, those players. And so what I would like to see is, you have, and I don't know how Michigan's doing, but, we had, 4 teams that went back to the Sweet 16 this season, and yet we're still not talked about enough. So if I can do one thing, that is to make sure that everybody, all you beat writers and sports writers, you realize that the Big Ten is so good. And we beat up on each other night in and night out, and we have terrific players, we have terrific coaches, and we're still fighting for national respect. Last year we did it. We had 4 teams in the Sweet 16. This year we did it, and we're still fighting. So what we'll just do is we'll keep beating up on each other, but we're going to still keep fighting, right, for the national respect that this league deserves, because there's just so many great players, so many great coaches. I'm not sure what else we have to do to garner that type of respect, but when I sit up here and tell you that we play in, if it's not the best league, it's dang near close to being the best league in the country, night in and night out. And we beat up on each other, but we also prepare each other for these moments. And even though we came up short tonight against UConn, we were prepared for these moments, this moment today, because of our conference. The Iowas, the Marylands, the Ohio States, the Michigans, they prepare us for these moments.
All right, last one here in the middle, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie Powell with Bleacher Report. Just to expand upon that question, you've been coaching for a long time. I'm curious if you can walk me through how you believe the way women's college basketball has been received by a mainstream audience, and sort of how that has changed over time, and what are some of the starkest examples of those changes?
Well, I think the starkest is just the coverage now, right? That our league, our sport, has gotten. When I say media attention, it's now to be on ESPN is not a big deal, because back in the day when I played, and that was a long time ago, ESPN, that was a far-fetched idea, right? To have a women's game on the Deuce or ESPN or even now CBS, So I think the media, that's been the starkest difference. I think the players, more athletic, more talented than ever. The product that we're putting on TV, the product that we're putting on the floor is exciting. And I think everybody, if you have an opportunity to watch women's basketball, whether it's on TV, and even for us, when people come to Simon Scott Assembly Hall for the first time, they didn't know that, gosh, these women play really, really good basketball, And so I just think it's been the interest. Social obviously helps. The social media, Twitter, all of that, has changed quite a bit, but it's also helped in a way. To say that I think that, the trajectory of where we were and where the direction we're going is really exciting, I think, for us and for women's basketball. And I'll tell you this, we sure deserve it.
All right, Coach, thank you very
guys.
much for joining us. Thanks, everybody.